Hello everyone, today I'm going to do a video on tweak. As you know from my previous videos, there was a lot of prep work involved with making sure that the shocks were properly built, the chassis was nice and flat, the camber, all that was all set and ready to go. Now we put the car on the digital scales and everything came out nice. Everything was nice and balanced. Now, I take my car out on the track, I drive it around, I have a few knocks here and there, do a few rollovers, and I notice that the car is oversteering in one corner, and then it's all of a sudden generating understeer in the next corner. And that should be an obvious sign that your chassis is tweaked. Now, like I just mentioned, what has occurred is like I've obviously gotten the car in an accident. I've hit a board, I've rolled it over, etc., etc. So there's obviously some force that has been exerted and disrupted the chassis. Now, we call that tweak, and it's common with racing, any form of car. If you have a crash, something has to give, and when something has to give, usually what ends up happening is you break apart or your chassis is tweaked. If you're lucky, none of those will happen, but generally it does happen quite often. And so how do you check tweak? Well, I showed you how to use those digital scales. That's just more for corner balancing, just prepping the car before you get it on the track for the race weekend. Usually you want to take one of these guys with you. This guy here is a tweak station. This one is by Eagle Racing, and this is has this laser thing going on here. I don't know if you can see the laser hitting the setup right there. And so, as you can see, this balance beam or tweak bar is perfectly balanced, and what you'll do is you'll place your tweaked car, or if you feel that your car had been tweaked on the track, you just put it on the bar. I usually just put the car with the front suspension facing the bar. You just want to make sure that you get everything all nice and neat. All right, make sure that the bar is this back bar here is nice and balanced, nice and level. Usually you can just use the bubble indicator from this bar here and level it out. And you want to level it out going lengthwise as well. Going this direction, it's not hugely important, but you want to make sure that the back bar is perfectly flat. Okay, and so you want to measure it up on the markings here. So let's see here. Right there, right there. Okay, got that set up. Let's just bring that in a little bit here. All right, and there we go. All right, so the tires have been positioned equally on both left and right, front and rear. Let's just try to get that in and a little nice and neat there. And all you simply do is you push down the chassis and see what's happening with the chassis. So as you can see here, the 0 degree mark is right here, which means it would be tweak free, but you can see that there is an obvious sign that this chassis is tweaked. So it could be a number of things. What you can do is simply take this off the tweak station and put the chassis on a flat surface and loosen the top deck screws, and maybe relieve or release any stress from the chassis, and then tighten them down, and then go check again. And while you have the car off, maybe you just want to check the camber on the four corners of the wheels just to make sure that they are all right as well. If you do a few tumbles here and there, you might have adjusted the camber on whatever corner that it might have had the impact on. You got to remember, the plastic here, it's not super strong. It does its job, but things can shift or things can stretch. So say that we've taken our chassis, we've tweaked, we've relaxed the chassis, we've brought it back. You know, it's almost like you're going to a chiropractor to get your back straight. You know, taking out all the screws, you're just bringing that back to its original flat surface. Put it on the tweak station and see what happens. If it's still in a tweak position, or if it's shifted just slightly, then you probably want to go ahead and adjust using your shock collars. Now, before you start mucking around with the shock collars, what I would look at doing before you touch that is maybe disconnect the sway bars so they have little to no impact on the tweak bar settings. Okay. Generally, you can leave the sway bars connected when you're putting the car on the tweak station. It's fine. But, you know, if you're making any adjustments with the collars, I would probably just take the bars off just to make sure everything's all hunky-dory. Okay, and then, you know, you adjust the collars. Let's see here. What's happening here? So we have it going down to the -1. So let's just touch the bar here. So if I push down by adding weight on this bar, it goes down further. So what's happening is this corner here has more weight on this corner than this side. So if I was to apply some preload, I'm not going to actually do it. I'm just going to, you know, simulate putting preload by just pushing the bar down. You can see the preload is going to bring it back to 0. So what we can do here is one of two things. We can, you know, add preload to this collar here and take away from here and here. But when you do this, you want to make sure that you know, your ride height is set correctly, because if you start adjusting the preload collars, you could be under your ride height value and whatnot. So, so there you have it. You know, a tweak bar. This is what it is. A tweak bar. You just take this to the track instead of your digital scales, just to check upon whether or not the car has been tweaked or imbalanced from the time that you had it on the digital scales back at your house. Okay, it's pretty simple as that. You can also use this tweak bar to, you know, set up your car, but ideally you want to use like the 4 digital scales and like the preparation work that I mentioned before in my videos. Preparation goes a long way with these cars. If you prepare it meticulously, your results will be close to perfect every time with whatever you do. And yeah, just preparation. That's what wins races, is preparation. And those guys who are successful are meticulous with everything that they do. So if you can kind of, you know, focus on being meticulous and making sure everything is exact, you won't encounter any strange handling problems with your car whatsoever. Okay, so here you have it, tweak bar. Great to have to take to the track and just plop your car on, check it out, see what's going on, if there's any handling woes going on with your car. Okay, I hope this video was of help. If you have any questions, please leave a message. Okay, bye-bye.